शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुर्गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। हृदाकाशे सदा भान्तं शान्तमानन्दरूपिणं ज्ञानभानुमहं वन्दे सद्गुरुं सत्यसायिनम्। ॐ श्रीं ह्रीं क्लीं श्रीगुरवे श्रीसत्यसायिनाथ श्रीपादुकां पूजयामि नमः। ॐ श्रीं ह्रीं क्लीं श्रीपरमगुरवे श्रीशिरडिसायिनाथ श्रीपादुकां पूजयामि नमः। ॐ श्रीं ह्रीं क्लीं श्रीपरमेष्टिगुरवे दत्तात्रेय स्वामी श्रीपादुकां पूजयामि नमः। सद्गुरु चरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। हरिः ॐ। Yes, is Lalita Varanasi online? Why don't you do the Nyasam and Dhyana Shlokamma, Lalita?
Sure.
Sai Ram.
Sri Saishwaraya Namaha. Harihi Om. Atha Prathamodhyayaha. Asya Sri Prathamacharitrasya Brahma Rishihi Mahakali Devata Gayatri Chandaha Nanda Shaktihi Raktadantika Bijam Agnistatvam Rugveda Swarupam Sri Mahakali Prityardham Dharmardhe Jape Viniyogaha Dhyanam Om Khadgan Chakragadeshu Chapa Parikhan Chulam Bhushundim Shiraha Shankham Sandadhatim Karaistrinayanam Sarvangabhusha Vritam Neelashmadhyutimasya Padadashakam Seve Mahakalikam Yamastautsvapide Harau Kamalajo Hantum Madhum Kaitabham.
Next. Om Namaschand until
Om Namaschandikaya. Om Aim Markandeya Uvacha Savarnissurya Tanayo Yo Manuh Kathyateshtamaha Nishamayata Dutpatyu Vistarat Gadato Mama.
Thank you, Sai Ram. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Hari Om, Shalom, Sai Ram, Namaste. Yesterday we contemplated on the first, on the Dhyana Shloka Viniyoga and the first mantram, or I should say, first two mantras of Devi Mahatmyam. We looked at the literal meaning of the first mantra or the shloka, actually, first shloka, and that is Savarnihi Surya Tanaya Yo Manu Kathyate Ashtamaha Nishamaya Tad Utpattim Vistarad Gadato Mama. When you're actually paying attention to the words, you will automatically memorize them also. You get it by heart. Savarnihi is the son of Bhagavan Surya. Yo Manuhu, he is the Manu. That is known as Kathyate Ashtamaha, as the eighth Manu. Nishamaya, please pay attention carefully. Tadutpattim, the how that came into existence. Vistarat Gadato, as I elaborate eloquently or as I speak eloquently. Mama means as I. Vistarat Gadato, as I Gadataha, which is I am as I am going to elaborate eloquently. That's what he is saying. Now, this particular mantra here, what we are looking at the basically at the literal meaning of it, then we say Savarni makes sense. His mother's name is Savarna, and therefore he is called Savarni. Yo Manuhu. Manu means the one of the preceptors of the humanity. How many Manus are there? There are 14 Manus that are described in the context of the time period of rulers, or what we call as the kings. And this Manu, as he is the eighth Manu. So there are 14 there are 14 Manus that actually are supposed to be chief operating officers of the entire cosmos for each cycle called as Manvantara. And so there are 14 Manvantaras, and each Manvantara is 300 and roughly 307 million years. 307 million years. So 307 million years is what is a Manvantaram, and there are 14 of them. See, this is all not hypothetical. This is completely scientifically how the Vedic time period works. The Vedic time period is such an amazing, accurate representation of the years, and this units of time, as they call it, go from the very in the human year. A human year is 1 year. A Manu year, as I said, is 3 point yeah 3 point a Manu year is 3.7 million years, and a Brahma year is representative of all these 14 Manvantaras. And these 14 Manvantaras, each Manvantara, there is a ruler. The first one is Swayambhuva, next one is Swarochisha, third one is Uttama, Tamasa, Raitava, Chakshusha, Vaivasvata, Savarni, Daksha Savarni, Brahma Savarni, Dharma Savarni, Rudra Savarni, Deva Savarni, and Indra Savarni. Now, all these Savarnis, as you, all these, from the eighth Ashtama is the Savarni. From there, all his sons, Daksha Savarni, Brahma Savarni, all of them are described. Now, the Manvantara currently we are in, the Manvantara we are currently in is what Manvantara? Vaivasvata Manvantara. So we are in the seventh. We are in the seventh Manvantara. So the eighth Manu has not yet come. So how long we have to wait, sir, for this? This is the now what we're talking about. He's talking about how the eighth Manu has come into existence, and this next Manvantara is Savarni, is the Savarni Manvantara. This is Vaivasvata Manvantara, and the Vaivasvata Manvantara, as we look at these Manvantaras, the Swayambhu. So there is the what is called as the Manvantara period. The 14 Manvantaras actually are described as one Kalpa, as I said, and one Kalpa is 4.3 billion human or solar years. One Kalpa is 4.3 billion solar years. And I think and this solar years, as we're talking about, 300 each, the Vaivasvata Manvantara right now, each Manvantara has yugas. There are yugas. What are the yugas? The Treta Yuga, the Kruta Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. And each of these yugas, there are 71 yugas in one Manvantara. So where are we in the context of that timing? We are in the 28th Kalpa, Kali Yuga. We are in the 28th Kalpa of the Kali Yuga. See, why is all this important? See, we're trying to actually not only technically or physically look at things and also spiritually look at things. Both are important. And when we are looking at this current yuga, this is Kali Yuga, and it is the 28th Kalpa, Vaivasvata Manvantara. So the Manu, we don't know the context of the timing, whether all the Manvantaras completed before and which Kalpam we are in, we have no idea. But I have no idea. There are people that astrologers and other learned people. So this Ashtama Manu is known as Savarni. Nishamaya tadutpattim vistarat gadato mama. Listen carefully about that. Tadutpattim, tat utpattim becomes tadutpattim as I elaborate. Here is the thing. When you look at this shloka, as I was reflecting on the meaning of this shloka, he is referring to Savarni as the 8th Manu, number 1. But then he says tadutpatyam. He's using the word in neutral gender, tat. If Manu is a male, why is he saying tat utpatyam? Number 1. Number 2, if you actually look at what he has told, Markandeya has told Bhaguri, as if you look at all of what he has said, the reference to his story is very, very little. First few slokas in the chapter, in the first chapter, and then Mother Devi or Mahamaya giving him the blessing that he will be the Savarni. Other than that, there is no other story of Manu. And then he's saying, what? You said you will elaborate about that Manu a lot, and you told nothing about the Manu. This doesn't make sense. So is Markandeya kind of tricking this Bhaguri or what? This doesn't make any sense. This is how actually contemplation works. If you simply listen and leave it, it will be just Purana Kalakshepam, as they call it in Telugu. The fellow is talking, like YouTube viewers, they'll just put it on YouTube or run some commentary and they'll be doing their work. What a beautiful thing. And what did he say? I have no idea, but it sounded very beautiful. That is not what this is about. This is vichara, inquiry. Then you realize that this first shlokam is really not about this Manu. And what is this about? What is the entire story is about? The entire story is about this Mahamaya, this Devi. So is he indirectly implying that he is now talking about the story of this mother, Mahamaya, or Jagannatha? And if that is the case, how is the shloka talking about that? You understand the inquiry? All of you are with me? Then we start looking at decoding, decrypting these mantras and how powerful they are, how incredibly and amazingly these rishis have given this treasure of wisdom, but not making it explicit, so that people's intellect, Yaschandasam Rushabho Vishwarupah Chandobhyodhyamruta Sambabhuva Samendro Medhaya Sprunotu. This mantram, Shanti mantram. Amrutasya Devadharano Bhuyat. What we are talking about, Shariram me Vicharshanam, Jihva me Madhumattama, Karnabhyam Bhuri Vishruvam, Brahmana Koshoshi. In this, all these koshas are covering the Brahman, Medhaya Pihitaha. Medha should now dig deep into this and try to find the gem in each of these mantras. Then it is Vichara. Sa Varnihi. Sa means she. So he's starting with Sa. In Sanskritam, Sa is feminine gender, reference to a woman, Sa. Saha is reference to a male. Varni, Sa Varnihi. That which is the essence or describes this woman in full. What is that? That which describes in simply this beautiful divinity as a female, as a feminine entity. Varnam also means letters, or what we are, Varnam is not letter. I don't know how, I cannot find the word sometimes in English. And so please forgive me for that. And so I have to resort to either using Telugu or describing it elaboratedly. So Varnam is in a way the complete property of that matter, of that which we're talking about. So in Sanatana Dharma, the Vedas attribute Om as the supreme consciousness in the context of reference in a masculine way, and Im in reference to the supreme consciousness as the feminine. Im. So Savarnihi means Im. How do you know this, sir? Because every bija mantra associated with the mother always has a Im in it. Shreem, Khreem, Kleem, even Aim. A plus Im became Aim. So this Im is the substratum of the supreme, the supreme consciousness Sakshi referred to in a feminine way is the Im, and as masculine way is Om. Without these two syllables, these are interchangeable. They are also, Im is also Pranava, like Om. But most of the time we don't invoke Im directly, but Om directly. There is a reason for that. I'm not going to get into that aspect of it right now. So how do we, what is another reference to where we say Im when we refer to the mother? What Suktam? Okay, another clue. What Suktam directly says Im?
Durga Sukta.
Devi Sukta.
No.
Sukta.
No, I heard
Sri-
Durga Suktam, Devi Suktam,
Sri Sukta.
Sri Suktam. Where is Im in Sri Suktam?
Hiranyavarnam Harinim.
No.
Tam
Another.
Padminim Im.
Tam Padminim Im. I'm not asking you to tell what the first sloka of Sri Suktam. What is the mantra in which Im is directly pronounced? Tam Padminim Im Sharanamaham Prapadye. This Im is the bij, is the The Eem, therefore, is what he is starting the entire Devi Mahatyam with. Savarni. Now he is saying Surya Tanayaha. Surya Tanayaha. Surya represents the supreme massive effulgence. And Surya Tanaya. This Surya means two properties. Remember this. When the word Tanaya is used in the context of this, the properties of one individual becomes their sibling, their own lineage. So what are the properties of the sun? Two properties of the sun. What are the two properties? Those in Sacramento know for the last 1 week, 2 weeks.
Heat and light.
Heat and light. Therefore, Surya Tanaya here is the heat. Second sun. First sun is light. Second sun is heat. Savarnihi, Eem, Surya Tanaya is Agni. Therefore, that Agni Bijam is Ra. So, Eem, Ra. Ra. Without, it's not even Ra, it is Ra. That without filling it with the akaram. Yo manuhu kathyate ashtamaha. The word manu also means mantra or syllable. That syllable which is the eighth syllable from ya. What is that? Count. Hello. You know, ya, ra, la, va, sha, sha, sa, ha. Ha. Not a ha. So reverse this. Ha, r, im. Ha, r, im. Combine them. Hreem. So now the next, so in the very first line, encrypted is the bija mantram, Hreem. How masterful of a genius it is. And therefore, if you actually don't do the sadhana, this is the reason why I ask you to be in these classes, come to chanting, not just listen on YouTube as much as possible. For emergency reason, if you miss the class, that's a different story. But some people are shy of even coming onto the classes. It's like, the two sins is, first is shyness in front of mother. Second is shyness in front of a guru. Intimidation in front of a guru. Even when the guru or teacher intimidates, you should always be frank, free, and not. That's the reason why in front of a guru, you express your questions, your doubts, and everything. And therefore, what happens? He answers with so much love and compassion, especially Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. How much love and compassion. Only if you do not feel intimidated by his presence, if you actually 100% surrender and say, Swami, I have no other refuge. Anyatha saranan nasti. Only you have to provide. With so much, but with incredible discipline, he will train every one of us. So what I was talking about, what a masterful genius it is of these rishis to embed this beautiful, very first line of Devi Mahatyam is Hreem. Now you see how careful the next one is. Now that explains why he said Tad Utpattim, Tat Utpattim, because just so you know that Sa means feminine, and therefore this is about some gender. Immediately he says, Nishamaya, carefully listen, with complete attention and awareness, listen. Listen to what? Tat Utpattim, he said that, how that manifested. He didn't say how she manifested. Why? Because even though he is referring to this beautiful divine supreme consciousness in the context of the feminine aspect, yet she is not a gender. It is not a gender. It is tat. It is that. Tat saviturvarenyam. Vistarad gadato mama. Now, it is such an amazing genius of even Adi Shankaracharya. In many, many stotras, very simple ones, he has embedded the supreme power of the mantras with bijaksharas in many, many stotras, especially things like Saundarya Lahari. And there are so many intricate aspects about even the word Lahari is a bija mantram. If you simply say Saundarya Lahari, Saundarya Lahari, Saundarya Lahari, you are actually uttering bijaksharas. Sir, what is the purpose of uttering bijaksharas? Why should I utter bijaksharas? Because these bijaksharas actually take you deep into the root of who you are. They're seeds. And everything is in the seed form. But when it is a seed, you have no idea what kind of seed it is. Only when it becomes a plant or a tree, then you will actually know what is the scientifically the phenotype of that particular tree. The genotype, the genetic code of the entire universe is the bijaksharas. The genetic code. The genetic code is very simple. How many nucleotides are there? Now, a little bit of science class.
4.
4. But how many ways it is genotyped? How many genes are there?
16. 64? 16.
Yeah? No. In human, how many genes are there? Human genome. So, like that, if you ask the question, how many genes are there in a human? Any science student, Anish Pisapati, or any of these young guys that have gotten latest exposure?
Probably many tens of thousands, maybe.
Tens of no, but that is for sure. I want an exact number. Okay, to Google and tell me. Maybe I think 32,000 or 40,000 genes in a human. At least I know in the simplest of a plant called Arabidopsis, it's only 30 to 40,000 genes. And these genes become, but the complexity of a genotype with 4 nucleotides, how much exists across 8.4 million species of living things? So if you think that this uh, universe as it manifested is simply from 4 nucleotides, but with such massive amount of genotype and that massive amount of phenotype, the bijaksharas are few, but the manifestation of the universe from these bijaksharas is a vatavruksha, is a magnanimous tree that has manifested. Are you connecting to this now? What is bijaksharas? So now you know the nucleotides, when they're arranged in certain aspects, become whatever amino acids or whatever, and it is simply combining these 4 nucleotides. Imagine what is the spiritual universities that is much beyond comprehension with fundamentally simple seed letters such as Om, Im, Hrim, Shrim, Klim, Aim. Imagine what that is. The permutation combination of these seed letters, the mantras. And when you actually practice them with complete attention and paying attention to them, you manifest the phenotype associated with that particular combination of those bijaksharas. Therefore, Om Srim Hrim Klim Glaum Gam Ganapataye Varavarada Sarvajanam Me Vashamanaya Swaha. If you truly believe in genotype becomes phenotype, which it is unquestionably, imagine what it is you have manifested in connecting to that genotype and decoding it and decrypting it, brothers and sisters. Incomprehensible, unimaginable. When you look at a person, are you seeing nucleotides? Hello. When you look at a plant, are you looking at the genes or what? You cannot. But yet you know that is the substratum. So savarnis Surya Tanayo yo manu katyateshtama nishamaya tadutpattim vistarat gadato mama. Nishamaya tadutpattim. Utpatti is instant manifestation. It's not creation. It is actually emergence. Nishamaya. Shrunvantu Vishve Amrutasya Putraha. Nishamaya. See how carefully every word is used in these mantras. Nishamaya. Tat Utpattim Vistarat Gadato Mama. Now he's saying, I am going to explain, elaborate to you. I am going to decode for you how this beautiful thing called Hrim has expanded into the universe, and therefore Hrim is called Bhuvaneshwari Bijam. You might be thinking, why is this guy talking about trees, genotype, and all of that stuff? That's because Hrim is called Bhuvaneshwari Bijam. The entire Bhuvanas. Atala Vitala, Sutala Rasatala, Talatala, Mahatala, Patala Loka, Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Suvarloka, Maharloka, Janoloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka, Brahmaloka, 14 different lokas. The seed of all of these lokas is one bijam called Hrim. Hrim. It is not Hrim. It is not Hrim. It is Hrim. Hr. Hr. That's how you have to pronounce Hrim. So what is this next mantra we are going into now? If I do this for each of the every slokas, we'll be doing it for the rest of our lives. That's how deep all of this is. When we move on to the next sloka, can you, okay, I have to give Chandrasekhar, can you share the screen, please, if you are ready?
Yeah.
Now, Mahamaya Anubhavena Yatha. Oh, one, yeah, Yatha Manvantara Adhipaha Sa Babhuva Mahabhagaha Savarnihi Tanayo Rave. By the grace of this Mahamaya, the most simplistic or probably innocent translation of the word Mahamaya is illusion. The moment you hear the word illusion, immediately what you think is it is not real. It's all unreal. Why do we talk about something that is unreal, for heaven's sake? Don't we need to contemplate what is real? Therefore, what the Rishi is implying here is that mahamaya is not the divine power of illusion. Mahamaya is simply appearance of things in supreme consciousness, and that appearances are factual, and you cannot call them unreal. Then what is real, what is unreal? How this expression of this divinity, okay, this is probably where I will lose Ashrit, so I will refrain from his feedback yesterday. Some things don't make sense. So let's come back to, so by the grace, how by the grace, Mahamaya Anubhavena Yatha Manvantarathipaha, how he became the ruler of a Manvantara, Sababhuva Mahabhagaha Savarnihi Tanayo Ravehe. Mahabhagaha means the one who is graced with this greatness. How he is great, how he is became a Mahabhaga means the one who is graced with greatness. Means greatness, as Shakespeare says, some are born great, some achieve greatness, some have greatness thrust upon them. And he has greatness thrust upon him. By who? Mahamaya herself. The transliteration is not actually accurate, but let's leave it like that. Let's go back and focus on listening to this. Don't let words because just the reason is all this vachartha that we are contemplating on is only a pointer. It is not the, it is the deeper the contemplation becomes about this, then we will actually know that the meaning that is given here superficially is simply a pointer. But you have to, simply a pointer means just putting some direction to an address, and then the map comes up. The map comes up as a pointer, and that pointer, you have to start taking the journey and drive. You can't simply look on your iPhone and Google map directions and assume that you have reached the place. No. So this is like a simple guide map, but you have to take the journey deep inside to the pointer about the shabda and the artha. The actual artha is paramartha. Paramartha means the ultimate meaning. What is that ultimate meaning? The ultimate meaning is the experience of the vibration created by the mantra, and it is neither the vachartha or the antarartha. Because I have said her, im, and you listen to hrim, you have not realized hrim. You have no idea what that hrim really is in vibration. Experience or awareness of that bijam. That's actually going to the destination. The experience of that bija mantra. What we look at the meaning of these mantras are simply pointers. Yes, these words are so beautiful with the vibration generated by the combination of these letters by the rishi. Absolutely 100% has to make sense to the guys who are watching the movie. It's like watching a movie. That is the beauty of these Puranas. Whereas with Veda mantra is not like a story. Veda mantra is. There is no story behind it. There is no story behind Veda mantra. It is 100%, it is actually connecting you to that without any aberration of anything. But the moment people have no idea about it, because they don't comprehend it, and therefore what you do is you tell a story about it, and that's what the Rishi is doing. The Rishi is trying to tell a story about some guy called Savarni, but while doing that, without any aberration. He is incorporating the vibration of the bijas within these shlokas, and hence Devi Mahatyam is about the supreme knowledge embedded as seed letters, and therefore it is done as japa, as parayana, as homa, unlike any other Puranic mantras or Puranic shlokas. Yes. Chandrasekhar, and then we'll have Lalita follow today.
Sure, Anna. महामायानुभावेन
महामायानुभावेन महामायानुभावेन
यथा मन्वन्तराधिपः
यथा मन्वन्तराधिपः यथा मन्वन्तराधिपः
महामायानुभावेन यथा मन्वन्तराधिपः
महामायानुभावेन यथा मन्वन्तराधिपः महामायानुभावेन यथा मन्वन्तराधिपः
स बभूव महाभागस्
स बभूव महाभागस् स बभूव महाभागस्
सावर्णिस्तनयो रवेः
सावर्णिस्तनयो रवेः सावर्णिस्तनयो रवेः
स बभूव महाभागः सावर्णिस्तनयो रवेः
स बभूव महाभागः सावर्णिस्तनयो रवेः स बभूव महाभागः सावर्णिस्तनयो रवेः
महामायानुभावेन यथा मन्वन्तराधिपः स बभूव महाभागः सावर्णिस्तनयो रवेः
महामायानुभावेन यथा मन्वन्तराधिपः स बभूव महाभागः सावर्णिस्तनयो रवेः महामायानुभावेन यथा मन्वन्तराधिपः स बभूव महाभागः सावर्णिस्तनयो रवेः.
So, the decoding of that second mantram is Kleem. The third mantram actually, second shloka, third mantram is Kleem. How it is implied in that is the Anubhava aspect of it, the Mahamaya aspect of it, and the experience aspect of it. All of that put together becomes Kleem. Therefore, what did the Rishi do? What's the first mantram? What's the first bijam that he has invoked?
Hrim.
No.
Im.
No.
Him.
Om Aim.
Aim. Yeah. That's why I asked these questions. Are you with the class? Are you paying attention so far? Aim is how we started. Hrim is the first shlokam. Kleem is the next one. What did we cover as three bijas right now? Aim, Hrim, Kleem. This is the essence of Mahamaya. Aim, Hrim, Kleem. Then Swarochisha Antare Purvam Chaitravamsha Samudbhavaha Suratho Nama Raja Bhuh Samaste Kshiti Mandale Swarochisha Antare Purvam. So this story he is talking about now is saying, I am going to talk to you about a story that happened in Swarochisha Manvantaram. What is Swarochisha Manvantaram? Swarochisha Manvantaram is the second Manvantaram. The second Manvantaram is Swarochisha Manvantaram. And when is that Swarochisha Manvantaram based on Vaivasvata Manvantaram? This Swarochisha Manvantaram has happened roughly, let's do the math, 116 million plus 306 plus 306 plus 306 plus 306 306. So in somewhere in Swarochisha Manvantara means 4 times 3.67, 4 times 306 plus, plus 116 or 117. That many million years ago. That is Swarochisha Manvantaram. And this in this Swarochisha Manvantaram, he is basically saying Antare, Purvam, before that, Chaitravamsha Samudbhavaha. In the Chaitravamsha was born, Chaitravamsha is the lineage of Chaitra, was born a king by name Suratha. And this Suratho Nama Raja Bhuh Samaste Kshitimandale. And there was a king by name Suratha who was the king of Kshitimandale, Samasta Kshitimandala means entire earth. He happened to be the Raja, the king of the entire Kshitimandala, entire earth, by name Suratha. Yes, please chant. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. स्वारोचिषेऽन्तरे पूर्वन्
स्वारोचिषेन्तरे पूर्वन् स्वारोचिषेन्तरे पूर्वन्
चैत्रवंशसमुद्भवः
चैत्रवंशसमुद्भवः चैत्रवंशसमुद्भवः
स्वारोचिषेऽन्तरे पूर्वं चैत्रवंशसमुद्भवः
स्वारोचिषेन्तरे पूर्वं चैत्रवंशसमुद्भवः स्वारोचिषेन्तरे पूर्वं चैत्रवंशसमुद्भवः
सुरथो नाम राजाभूत्
सुरथो नाम राजाभूत् सुरथो नाम राजाभूत्
समस्ते क्षितिमण्डले
समस्ते क्षितिमण्डले समस्ते क्षितिमण्डले
सुरथो नाम राजाभूत् समस्ते क्षितिमण्डले
सुरथो नाम राजाभूत् समस्ते क्षितिमण्डले सुरथो नाम राजाभूत् समस्ते क्षितिमण्डले
स्वारोचिषेऽन्तरे पूर्वं चैत्रवंशसमुद्भवः सुरथो नाम राजाभूत् समस्ते क्षितिमण्डले
स्वारोचिषेन्तरे पूर्वं चैत्रवंशसमुद्भवः सुरथो नाम राजाभूत् समस्ते क्षितिमण्डले स्वारोचिषेन्तरे पूर्वं चैत्रवंशसमुद्भवः सुरथो नाम राजाभूत् समस्ते क्षितिमण्डले.
Now, this when you now on the nuances of chanting here, right? As you see from what you are seeing on the screen, and those of you who are learning for the first time, and those that have learnt before and have already forgotten about it because they have lost touch with it. And look at this. You know these red lines represent the indication of the pattern of chanting, right? Like we said, swaras. Swarochishendare purvan chaitra vamsha samudbhavah suratho nama raja bhut samaste kshiti mandale. That's how I would like you all to chant. Don't chant too fast. Chandrasekhar, you're chanting too fast. Okay.
Okay.
Pay attention to the swaras and also the holdings, so people will actually understand what the holdings are. The holdings are associated with these in English, these dark green triangle, the rectangles that you are seeing here, and light green triangles. So when you are saying Swarochi Shentare, I'm not saying Swarochi Shentare, not like that. Swarochi Shentare means the nta is held a little strongly. And then when we are saying Purvang Chaitra. So Purvang Chaitra. So what did I say? There is a slight holding or a single holding on the Chaitra. Why you have to do these holdings? When you do these holdings, then you actually get the timing of the shloka perfectly. So when we are chanting together, if everybody is not following that, so how are these holdings created? What is behind these holdings? Generally speaking, if there is a vowel sound that is followed by a compounded letter like anta, or an anuswaram followed by a anuswaram which is followed by a, letter, but a letter with the I or au or those kind of things. Then you are actually creating the holding. So now look at this. Suratho nama raja bhut samaste kshiti mandale. So now you are saying the chanting has to be paying attention to those as well. You will automatically get it once you train the mind about the shlokam and how you are chanting. It will automatically come. That's how you actually experience the full sound created by the mantra. The other thing that you have to pay attention to, you have to pay attention to visarga, you have to pay attention to bindu, then which is the anuswaras, then you have to pay attention to matra, then you have to pay attention to pada. Pada means words, pada means line, and the lines are symbolized by the dandas. Single danda, danda means this at the end of the line, that is danda, and the danda, if it is one, then it is one line of that shlokam completed. Double danda means complete of that particular shlokam. You understand now? What is the structure of each of these shlokas? Visarga, bindu, matra, pada, pada, akshara. Akshara. You have to be paying attention to the aksharas. Like Kshiti Mandale. Sometimes na will come. Na versus na. La versus la. Where they like especially tattadadhana and tattadadhana, most of the people do not know what is a na, what is a na. And if you do not know and you pronounce otherwise, then what happens is you will create a different meaning of that mantra. If you don't know what is the difference between a th and a th, the, you see how close they are? Th, 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 the. Then what happens? If you say the instead of the, and if you say the instead of the, you are completely changing the meaning of the mantra. How? For Ganapati, there is a mantra called Om Tushtaya namaha. Tushtaya namaha. If you use do instead of ta there, you made Ganapati. I don't want to say it. You can say it in your own head. So please pay attention to letter. Is it a ta? Is it a the? Is it a na? Is it a na? Is it a sha? Is it a sa? You have to pay attention to sha, sha, sa. This is the most important mistake that most of the people make. They don't know what's the difference between sha, sa, sha. Sha, sha, sa. Now do the pronunciation in yourself. Where is sha uttered? Where is sha uttered? Where is sa uttered? So this is paying attention to akshara. Pada, pada, akshara. Then there is a nyuna. Swarochishendare purvan chaitravamsha samudbha. You see the people singing bhajans in Sai Center. When it is not their turn, they will be moving lips. But when their turn comes, they sing very loudly. But when other people are singing to follow, they'll be moving lips. So similarly, in the chanting together of the mantra, each one has to put an appropriate madhyamaswarena, ardhanusandena, parayanam karishe. Madhyamaswarena. Madhyamaswaram means the swaram that is amenable for collective chanting. And I'll tell you what that swaram or the shruti is, generally speaking, is either 2.5 or 4. Therefore, play 4 in or in Western notes, it is F or D sharp. Those are the two that are amenable. If Bhagavan is singing, Bhagavan sings in A, in 6, which is the tone of the Shruti of the entire universe is what is. It's in between A and A sharp. It's not exactly that when you listen to his Gayatri. So there is a exact swara in which you have to sing. It should be not nyuna. It should not be atirikta. Nyuna, atirikta. What are how many 8 types we covered? Visarga, bindu, matra, pada, pada, akshara, nyuna, atirikta. 8 aberrations. So the people that I'm asking to chant also should pay attention to that. And do not chant too fast nor too slow. What when you're learning, learn it slow. Svarochishendare purvanchaitravamsha samudbhavah suratho nama raja bhut samaste kshiti mandale. Okay, that's the swaram and the speed in which you need to chant and practice. Now the other thing you have to pay attention to is, how do I understand the words behind each of these shlokas? Because that kind of gives me pointers about the meaning of it. To pay attention, this is where English I find is useful. Otherwise, English is not useful in any other. Why English is useful in this context is, look, when you look at Devanagari, etc., Svarochishendare becomes very compacted uh, thing. But look at English, it takes a lot more space. Okay. And in taking the more space, what has happened? You actually can pay attention. Swarochishe, that apostrophe there means what is called, um, what's that called in Sanskritam? They're called, sorry, I'm blanking. What graha is that? I'll come to that. So it actually indicates that there is a embedded vowel, especially a behind that. So if there are 2 of those apostrophes or 2 of those signs in Devanagari or in Telugu script, that means a. If it is a single one is there, it is a. So therefore now you see Swarochisha Antare. Swarochisha Antare. Purvan Chaitra Vamsha Samudbhavaha Suratho Nama Raja is one word. Bhut Avagraha. Yes, correct. Thank you. Thank you, Sitamat. Thank you. So it's called Avagraha. This is the, I know it was some graha, but I was thinking it was Anugraha. So there, thank you very much for that. So there is that avagrahas. Pay attention to the Then once you decode that, you see English very clearly elaborates each single word already underneath it. Raja Bhoot, Raja Bhoot, Bhoot, Samaste, Kshiti, Mandale. So that is another pointer for you to pay attention to. How do I look at the words behind? So if you go the before the sloka before that also, when you pay attention to the English, you will see Mahamaya. Now you see, when there is a dash like that in English, that means it is a single word, but two words underneath it. That's how they have done it. It's a really beautiful job done by Davor, brother Davor, who actually paid a lot of attention to this. So Mahamaya, Anubhavena, Yatha, Manvantara, Adhipaha, Sa Babhuva, Mahabhagaha. But here is S, because a visarga followed by sa becomes emphasized S. Therefore, Mahabhagaha becomes, when chanting, Mahabhagas. So when you look at Devanagari, Mahabhagaha, and there is a S. In Telugu also, Mahabhagaha and S. In English, Mahabhagas, Savarnihi, Tanayo, Ravehe. You see? Now you know each word in the shloka, making life so simple. Ariti పండు ఒలిచి మొత్తం తొక్కు తీసి నోట్లో పెట్టి మింగరా బాబు అని. In Telugu I'm saying that you like peeling the whole banana and making it a pulp, putting in your mouth and saying you just swallow. That's your job. I can't swallow on your behalf. This is Bhagwan's grace of bringing all this incredible way to actually chant, but also the grace to actually understand and experience through contemplation. So now that is 4 minutes over. So we covered 4 shlokas. Swarochisha antare purvan chaitravamsha samudbhavaha suratho nama raja bhoot. Abhoot becomes raja bhoot. Abhoot means the one which was present at that time. Samaste kshiti mandale. So now when those that have already learnt first round, I haven't spent this much time on each of the shlokas because of the time pressure we were in for learning everything for the charm. So those that have learned first time, you see, when you learn second time, it's a different experience. This body has taught Rudram 5 times so far. And there are people that sat through all the 5 iterations and they never left it because they know that you go deep, deep, deep. I know, for example, Brother Kotu himself has sat through 4 iterations, the one except in, no, maybe 3 iterations because the two in Bay Area. So, but you know that this is not something that you grasp by hearing first time. It is not about chanting, it's like watching a movie. You actually need to understand. In order to understand what the director's intent is, what is conveying before, it's not one time watching movie. You don't pay attention to so many details, and that is the purpose of doing second iteration. Okay, swarochishendare purvam chaitravamsha samudbhavaha suratho nama raja bhuh samaste kshiti mandale. Now with that we will close today's okay. Sita asked a question here. Om Aim Markandeya Uvacha. Is it Bija Mantra Sreem? You got the answer to the question, ma?
I did, Andy.
Okay.
A book lo, they said the Ramesh Gurukul book lo, they said Om Aim Shreem in the Bijatmaka Saptasati, but the first one. So I was wondering why Shreem.
Bijatmaka Sapta. Oh, it's Aim Second, the sloka is Hrim. The next one is Klim. The one that Swarochyantare Puram is Shrim.
Yes, the first one they wrote all three, Om, Aim, Shreem. So that's why I was wondering.
Ah, okay. Got it. Okay, I'll look at it. I'm not sure either. Okay. All right. And then one other clarification, thanks to Swati Iyer. Swati Iyer is online.
Yes.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, Saira.
Okay. So she brought to my attention again. This is a collective study. I am not an expert. I just want to let you know I'm a normal human being only, like all the rest of you. So there are no divine powers or anything associated with this body. It is associated, but it is not the important point about it. The point is that we are collectively learning. So when you notice something and you're not clear about it, or you find some conflicting information, like what Sita just did, very nice. This is a satsang. This is collective learning. It's not one person that's expounding and the rest are all kind of. There is a discipline about it, but at the same time, so yesterday she brought to my attention it Krasushtuki Bhaguri versus Kraushtuki Bhaguri. So when I was looking into it, yes, there are some books where, for example, Ramakrishna Mission book has written Krasushtuki Bhaguri. Krasushtuki is what they used, but the actual name is Kraushtuki only. The S they introduced in English is probably an error, because Kraushtuki Bhaguri is the one who is a master in astronomy and other things, and he was the disciple of Markandeya. That's also referred in other parts of Devi Bhagavatam. It should be Kraushtuki Bhaguri. Okay. Any other things that I wanted to clarify? Any other questions?
So I have one more.
Yes, Raktadantika. Okay. So she asked about elaboration. Is that the question? Yeah, Raktadantika.
Like for today's also I have a question.
Okay. What's the question? Today or
So,
yesterday? Do we
no,
cover yesterday? Huh?
for today's thing I have, I will refrain from why question. So I will use how. So
Oh my God. Okay.
I'm asking you, how did we derive the 8th syllable from year?
Ah,
With the her.
yeah. Yo manuhu kathyate ashtamaha means ya. Yo means ya. Manuhu means mantra. The word manuhu also means mantra or akshara or varna or syllable. There is a meanings of these words are not have to be understood in context. So that's again the incredible mastery of the rishis. They have complete vision of the shabda. That's how it is actually derived. They have complete comprehension of the vibration, not just the spoken word, right? They're in all the four, right? Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama, Vaikari, all integrated. They put these mantras together. So, yo manuhu, manu also means syllable or mantra. Kathyate, that is uttered. Ashtamaha means the eighth, from ya, ra, la, va, sha, sha, sa, ha. That is the eighth.
And then how did we come to that we have to reverse that to bring about?
Ah, yes. That's called decompression. Compression, decompression. Huh? When you encrypt something, what you do? Binary code reversal. The whole universe is binary code. The code has to be reversed. How much? I mean, how did these guys actually see that? So this is the reason why mantras are not simply given to people like that. It is the reason they had to protect this incredible power of this wisdom through eternity. Otherwise, it will fall into the hands of useless people and who don't know how to do this, and they'll write stupid articles about Sanatana Dharma, ignorance. Okay, that's the reason. Okay, decompression and decoding. Yeah, decoding, decompression. Yes. Next, how is claim derived? No, I'm not going to tell you that, sir. You have to. Yes. Next.
No, but
See, there are some things that you have to actually pay attention to. You have to do your sadhana. You have to practice the mantra. You have to do the collective parayana. And the reason why Bhagavan has done collective bhajans, collective study circles, collective service is because it is only through collective coming together we actually realize ourselves. So some part of the individual effort in combination with others, that is the spiritual sadhana. Spiritual sadhana is not just sitting yourself in a room, locking up yourself, doing some mantra chanting. Okay. Yes. Yes. Somebody has a question. Chandrasekhar. Yes.
no, I was about to ask if there is a prescriptive method to decode, but I believe you answered just now about
Okay.
what are the steps to decode.
Yes. If the mantra chants you, then it is decoding. It's not given simply.
What does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean? Yeah, this is maybe Ashrit is wondering what does that mean as well. What does it mean the mantra is chanting you? So far, what we do, we are chanting mantra, right? Hello, Sairam sir.
Is it same way like how you explain the reverse?
So, are you in the mantra? Is the mantra in you?
I think mantra is in me.
Are you in space or is space is in you?
Oh, both.
Both. Are you in mantra? Is mantra in you? Both.
Both.
Both. So, what is it that you are talking about now? This is now Vedanta. Where I lose all the young guys. Now we're talking about Bhagavan very beautifully says, what is this space that we're talking about? Are you in the space or the space is in you? Actually, there is space in you, but actually, there is only space, there is nothing else. You is very simply put a, a circle drawn around space, no? Sir, are you following? Are you tracking with me? See, this is an example that Swami gave very beautifully. He took a white paper in front of students one time, apparently. I heard this through one of the students. And then he put a dot on that white paper. And he, with a pen, he put a dot, a small dot. And he asked all the students, what do you see? What do you think they said?
The dot.
Yeah. But what is occupying the most of the space?
It's the white part.
The white. Yeah. What is actually what is the most of the stuff on the paper? It is white space, not the dot. So you should say I see white space and a dot in white space. Yes, but how do we say? We see only the dots. We're not seeing the white space. Is the dot in the space? Yes, but what is actually mostly present? Space. So if you are a dot in the space, why are you seeing only a dot? Yes, sir.
Correct. Yes.
How limited our intellect is. Just think about that. How limited our intellect is in perception. Our perception is only limited to dot. We're not seeing the magnanimity of the space in which the whole universe is present, and yet we see ourselves as simply dots moving around, thinking that this dot is the only thing that is important. But this dot is actually the most insignificant on that piece of paper. It's the most insignificant. And therefore, the mantra is what in which the whole universe is present. It's like 96.8 FM. Where is that vibration? Are you seeing it? But when you tune into it, you get the station. Similarly, all these mantras are vibrations in which the whole universe is suspended. You actually connect to the mantra within you. You will tune into the mantra in the entire universe. At that point, only mantra remains. Mantra chants mantra. You don't matter. Oh my God, this is very powerful. I'm getting. So now you know what it is, Rudram chanting you versus you chanting Rudram. What is mantra chanting you? Now, at least we have perception. No, we have at least the concept, not the percept, right? You see, the metaphors that we are using is to actually connect to that which through all these metaphors. Yes, right. Sairam, any other questions? Otherwise,
I just posted one question.
oh, Suratha is yet to be born. Ah, okay. Is Suratha yet to be born? And if he is yet to be born, how did the guy know the story about? If it is something coming in future, why is this guy describing it? We don't even know when Markandeya told this to to uh, to Suratha to Kraustuki Bhaguri, right? And actually, it was Veda Vyasa who actually described this as part of Markandeya Purana. Markandeya. So now you see the concept about what we are thinking of time is now all messed up. So the first thing you assumed is that this Manvantara or this Manvantara is the only one that has happened. If you say that this is the Manvantara that has only happened and there were no Manvantaras before or no Kalpas before, huh? Now, this is another important time aspect about time. This time of one kalpa and one kalpa being 14 manvantaras and each manvantara being 306 million years, right? And now putting all of that 306 times 14, which is one kalpa, is one day for Brahma. Astirya Bhaja Kalpante, he's saying about at the end of one kalpa means what? At the end of one day. So Vishnu is also one day. Like you sleep every day, Vishnu is also sleeping once in how many billions of human years?
4.32.
So did this is that means Brahma is alive only for one day so far? Uh, and the thing is, Brahma is not even a context of an individual. Brahma is context of a rotation job, like head of the department. So that means there were how many Brahmas were there, and that many Kapalas, Mahakali and Maharudra are wearing. They're wearing he's wearing a garland of Kapalas of Brahma. Who is wearing? Shiva and Kali are wearing. Now, that means if his mala has X number of Kapalas, that means number of Brahmas, and each Brahma lived that many number of whatever years are holding that post. And now, what is the age of what we're talking as this Mahakali or Mahashiva? Yeah, now this is where Ashrit would say, I'm going bonkers. I'm going, I'm going bonkers. I have no idea what you're. That is true. You have no idea what you talk about. So don't. So paying attention to this beautiful thing. Now you see how. What is the purpose of doing all of this stuff? In just talking about time, and our awareness about time is now becoming such an incomprehensible entity in which we are actually relating to in our lives, and we are counting the bloody 60, 70, 80 years that we live, a horrible life or a most precious life or whatever. If that much how we are paying attention to time, now you pay attention to this time and you are saying, my God, how insignificant or irrelevant is the time span that I spend for my life, but every minute, instead of focusing on the magnanimity of time, I am caught up in time. Yes, caught up in time. Yes, Sairam. Why I'm trying to bring this to our awareness so that we take all of this essence of this knowledge, and we are, every time when you actually take one thing like space and you meditate on it, you take one thing like time and you meditate on it, and you take one thing like objectification and you meditate on it, and now you try to actually say, what does this all mean and what is the context of all of this? See what happens to your mind and your thought. See, just experience that. Experience that. Then you will say, that's what we are calling as Mahamaya. That is what we are calling as Mahamaya. The time space objectification manifest in eternity. That is what we are calling as Mahamaya. Yes. Sairam, Swati, you look very pensive now. Yes.
Oh, I have a crazy thought going on in my mind.
Oh, no. While you are listening, you are thinking. Oh, that's not a good thing, by the way. Okay. Tell me.
I mean, always when it comes to Sanatana Dharma, we have all these names, right? Which is kind of, I mean, we kind of know it is Hinduism or Sanatana Dharma. And if we are
No,
considering,
they're not one and the same. Hinduism or Sanatan. Don't call it like that. Hinduism is a religion. Okay? You refer to them as one and the same, but they're not one and the same. Because in Hinduism, there are Vaishnavites, there are Shaivites, there are all these, you know, people that divide Hinduism. That's all Hinduism. But that's not what we're talking about. This is no ism. Sanatana Dharma is not an ism. Ism is about I.
okay, so from that context,
Yeah.
names are more familiar to a Sanatana Dharma, whereas there are so many other races and other like Far Eastern, Hispanics, Chinese, whatever, How come we don't have those names? I mean, if it is, God is all pervasive and all pervading and everyone is one.
Is Mahamaya a name associated with Hinduism?
No, I think Sanatana Dharma, right?
No, I'm just asking. Is Mahamaya something related to Hinduism names? Because I'll tell you, in Buddhism, there are texts that verbatim use the word Mahamaya. And there are mantras that are related, exactly related to all these concepts that we are talking about. In Sufism, there are words exactly related to what we're talking about. 100%. I can give you references to that. There is a mantra in Buddhism called Vajra Mandala Dhatu. And this Vajra Mandala Dhatu is about manifestation of this Shakti, what we refer to as Mahamaya. And I chanted this Vajramandala Dhatu. When did I chant this? Recently at our Sai Center. And this Vajramandala Dhatu mantras, when you actually look at those mantras, I'm trying to find the lyric for that. Give me 1 second. And it is all the same names and everything that we're talking about in this particular context of Mahamaya, right? So we limit our awareness only looking at how we feel what our awareness is bound to. The moment we say Krishna, our awareness is simply limited to a blue cowboy. That's it. That's how limited our awareness is. But the word Krishna is absolutely not saying that. ॐ वज्रतीक्ष्णदुःखच्छेदप्रज्ञाज्ञानमूर्तये ज्ञानकाय वागीश्वर अरपचनाय ते नमः इति मायाजालाभिसम्बोधिक्रमगाधास्तिस्रगा तथ्यथा भगवान् बुद्धः सम्बुद्धो कारसम्भवः अकारस्वर् सर्ववर्णाग्र्यो महार्धः परमाक्षरः महाप्राणो ह्यनुत्पादो वागुदाहारवर्जितः सर्वाभिलापः हेत्वग्रः सर्ववाक् सुप्रभास्वरः महामहमहारागः सर्वसत्त्वरतिङ्करः महामहमहाद्वेषः सर्वक्लेशमहारिपुः महामहमहामोहो मूढधीर्मोहसूदनः महामहमहाक्रोधो महाक्रोधरिपुर्महान् महामहमहालोभ सर्वलोभनिषूदनः महाकामो महासौख्यो महामोदो महारतिः महारूपो महाकायो महावर्णो महावपुः महानामा महोदारो महाविपुलमण्डलः महाप्रज्ञायुधधरो महाक्लेशाङ्कुशोऽग्रणीः महायशाः महाकीर्तिर्महाज्योतिर्महाद्युतिः महामायाधरो विद्वान् महामायार्धसाधकः महामायारतिरतो महामायेन्द्रजालिकः महादानपतिश्रेष्ठो महाशीलधरोऽग्रणीः महाक्षान्तिधरो धीरो महावीर्य पराक्रमः महाध्यानसमाधिस्थो महाप्रज्ञाशरीरधृक् महाबलो महोपायुः. This is how it goes. This is Vajramandala Dhatu Stotram, one of the most important practices in Buddhism. Arapachanayate Namaha. When you actually listen to the Tibet Buddhist chanting, Arapachanayate Namaha, Arapachanayate Namaha. Arapachanayate Namaha is about stimulating this incredible intellect to be able to come close to perceiving this thing called mahamaya that is described in Mahavajramandala Dhatu. So who says that these concepts are limited to so-called Hinduism? If you actually go look at the practice of the Sufis and the key mantras that they chant, La ilaha illallah, La ilaha illallah, and then Hu, Hak, these are mantras related to practice of Sufism, which actually are based in the root of syllables of bija aksharas. Rahim came from Hreem. Rahim came from Hreem. Look at the Hreem, Rahim. Rahim, Hreem. Are they related or not related? Just the sound of it. Kareem, Kleem. Hello?
Yes.
La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha. Have you seen Sufis doing meditation and chanting? Yes. Sufism is firmly grounded in nothing but this. This is the genotype. Hello. What did I describe? The genotype. The genetic code of the universe is Sanatana Dharma. The genetic code of the universe. Everything is an expression of that. Allah is the one associated with Shakti. Allah. The root of word Al is power. Shakti. Aha is associated with. Allah means the one associated with Shakti. The power. What is that Shakti? Mahamaya. So, sorry, this is not, I'm not trying to be, the question is so beautiful because if you look at then Sikhism, एक ओंकार सतनाम कर्ता पूरख निर्मोह निर्वैर. Akal Murat Ajani se ban Guru Prasad. What is all that? Ik Onkar. Satnam. Ik Onkar. What is Sikhism? What is Guru Nanak saying? Ik Onkar. He is the one Onkar. Now, how many religions are there? Judaism. Judaism, actually, if you look at what is described in letters, 100% looks like Om. So, what are we talking as? Okay, Ma. Any other questions? Thank you for asking that beautiful question. It's a very
Sairam,
important
brother.
question because the confusion about Hindus is that they think that this is only limited to them. but the confusion about practice of Hinduism, yes, Hinduism is one of the most profound ancient religions, but the word Hindu is nothing to do with what we are referring to as Sanatana. With all due respect to all those that are trying to do great service to Hinduism. And on that note, actually, most of you probably have seen my note. We're going to do this beautiful Rudram event in this Gokulam with 150 cows in Memphis, and I'll send a flyer. Those of you at least in proximity to Memphis, please try to come and participate in this beautiful event. And with Bhagwan's grace, I don't know when, I will also teach Go Suktam. And the word go is nothing to do with what we are thinking as the word cow. Cow is the representation of the essence of that beautiful thing called go. And why is go such an go mata? Why is only the animal cow is worshipped as the mother? Why there is no elephant mata? Why there is no simha mata? There are incredible things. What is the reason why go? The word even go Govinda. What Bhagavan gives beautiful insights into what Gomata is in several discourses. And but the most important one is that in Yajna, the ghee is offered to the fire. And where is the ghee coming from? The ghee is coming from fundamentally the milk which is coming from the cow. The cow ghee is what is used. The word go simply doesn't mean that it is cow. It is also means Vedas. Go also means fundamental vibration. The go also means the jiva. Go also means Surya. Go word go has so many different meanings. What happens is we limit all these in the context of our own awareness. And as that awareness expands, you actually see the magnanimity of the fundamental sound. And when you connect to that, you are now in the mantra. Otherwise, you are chanting mantra. You are in the mantra means when you utter the word go, is all this awareness coming into the sphere of that, right? And when you are, that is now you are in the mantra. Otherwise, your own, when you say the word go, and immediately it only points to this four-legged animal, then it is, you are still chanting the mantra. Yes, Sairam. Okay, any other questions? Otherwise, 34 minutes.
Sairam, brother, I wanted to ask this timing you were saying. So we have Dev Uthi Agyaras and Dev Padi, so Chaturmas. So that is one. What is the timing, that one?
I'm sorry, Amma, I come again.
No, we say Dev Padi Agyaras, means that when the god sleeps, Vishnu Bhagwan sleeps, and Dev Uthi Agyaras is when Vishnu Bhagwan wakes up. So in the context of the day and all that, so that 4 months is.
Oh, the Chaturmasya.
That's
You're
what I
referring
wanted
to
to.
Chaturmasya.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's his
yeah,
power
yeah.
nap time.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So, Chaturmasya, what she's referring to is from the time of the first Ekadasi in Ashad, around Guru Purnima, before Guru Purnima, the Ekadashi before Guru Purnima, to the time in Kartik Masa, the 4 months period, is referred to as the Chaturmasya, the 4 months in which people actually do a lot of austerities, especially the celibates and the Mathadipatis and the Acharyas, they go through this sadhana. And what is this purpose of the sadhana? Well, they say that Vishnu is taking rest, let us also take rest. That is, I don't know how much of that I connect to, but I can tell you what is the importance of this. Starting from the entrance into this Dakshinayana time, which is the southward moment, there is less light. And this period of the time, when there is actually going through this period of Shravana and Bhadrapada, Ashvaja, Kartika, these represent the time period of intense rain and also the context of the autumn type aspect of it. When the whole the creation is trying to come into this mode of giving up, and therefore what they do is they do this austerity in conjunction with the mother nature, where if you look at what happens to the trees, what happens to everything during this period, they are actually they're all actually trying to come to a state of equilibration with the sunlight. And that equilibration with the sunlight aspect is related to all the austerities, the ritualistic practices are in conjunction with what happens outside in the mother nature. And if you describe mother nature as Mahavishnu, Mahavishnu is also coming to this point of equilibration, and that period is when you do this sadhana of Chaturmasya, where what they do is they only take amount of fistfuls of food that they take relates to the phase of the moon. If it is no moon, they don't eat that day. If it is full moon, they eat 15 fish. They like that. They calibrate what they eat, what they do in conjunction with Mother Nature. But all these rituals have lost significance because we have made it a Hindu-oriented thing and lost the context of why these rituals even come into existence. Why do we observe Ekadashi? Why do we observe Ekadashi? That is a one beautiful. Why do we observe Shivaratri every month? You understand? So that is my perspective about it. Not a single answer. Okay, don't take no answers, only perspectives. Okay, Sairam, thank you. Let's go to.
Thank you, sir.
Today at 2 o'clock we don't have practice, um, and uh, um, and today is also 9/11, and one of the most horrific days in the history of United States of America and the world. And we pray to all those families for the healing of all the families and everyone that has suffered through that, directly or indirectly. And so 9/11, today there is no practice session. Uh, and I think, uh, one of the things that I'm thinking is, since Navaratri is coming, by the way, next Saturday, we will have the Parayana. I think we have most of the slots filled, a few remaining. Please wake up from hibernation, those that have learned, and join this Parayana, not for my sake, but for your own sake. And the next Sunday we'll have the regular class, and with Bhagwan's grace, hopefully, there is a request to teach Kanakadhara Stotram in lieu of Navaratri and Mahalakshmi, and there is a request to teach Gosuktam. May Bhagwan find time for all of us. Jai Sai Ram. ॐ यदक्षरपदभ्रष्टं मात्राहीनं तु यद्भवेत् तत्सर्वं क्षम्यतां देव नारायण नमोऽस्तु ते विसर्गबिन्दुमात्राणि पदपादाक्षराणि च न्यूनानि चातिरिक्तानि क्षमस्व साईश्वर अपराधसहस्राणि क्रियन्ते हर्निशं मया दासोऽयमिति मां मत्वा क्षमस्व साईश्वर अन्यथा शरणं नास्ति त्वमेव शरणं मम तस्मात् कारुण्यभावेन रक्ष रक्ष साईश्वर हरिः ओं तत्सत् श्री साईश्वरार्पणमस्तु स्वस्तिः प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम् न्यायेण मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की
जय
जय